Hola. So I'm going to go back to doing the higher consciousness pathways. There's 12 pathways. We're on the third one. And I kind of got off this because honestly, I read that whole book and I actually put it into a project in ChatGPT. And I had Leela, which I call my AI, I had her like develop the process from the book, and I started using it, and I started using her to take me through the process. And I mean, it was life changing. So I got away from doing these pathways on here because I was literally transforming myself. So, and I'll tell you more about that after I go through this pathway, because today's the third pathway, and it was a big part of what helped me to see blind spots within myself, I guess you could say. Okay, so I welcome the opportunity, even if painful, that my minute-to-minute experiences offers me to become aware of the addictions that I get to reprogram to be liberated from my robot-like emotional patterns. Okay. This one's great, man. So, first of all, let's go back. If you haven't seen these other ones, the Handbook for Higher Consciousness is an audiobook on my channel, and he talks about addictions, not just the addictions we know, but really the ego mind is a series of addictions: addiction to thought, addiction to movement, addiction to have to do, have to get, have to find, have to be, have to do something, right? Like, it's these addictions of like, I have to be treated a certain way, I have to have this a certain way, things need to show up a certain way. Like, it's the ego thermostat, it's the ego mind. So addictions are very subtle when you really start doing the work and you start clearing off the big, heavy, front loaded ones. Like, there's big things that are kind of obvious. And then as you get further on the pathway and you start looking at every experience and you're really monitoring yourself, like, one of the analogies that I like to use is, I used to trade Bitcoin a lot and I kind of got away from it, but like in Bitcoin or any stock, you see the market just kind of go up, 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 and then drop down, and then come back up, and then just shoot up, and then come back down. Well, you could consider that your consciousness level. It's a great analogy. So if you're really watching yourself with high awareness and self-truth, you can see your surges. Like, sometimes you just feel great, and then all of a sudden, wham, you drop down. Like, the market just drops, and it's just a straight down candlestick, right? And when you become aware and you're in the moment, you have to be present, right? So everything we talk about on this channel: presence, awareness, self-truth. It's the trio, man. You have to have that. And you don't have to have it, but if to do the work, you get better and better at it. And those things have nuances of levels. Like, they go really, really deep. They go deeper than you think. Like, if you consider yourself an expert at awareness, just realize that you might only have 1% of what's available. Like, that's how deep it goes. It goes deeper and deeper, and the same thing with presence, and the same thing with self-truth. So always be striving to realize that you don't know how deep it goes. And that's the case for everything, man. I mean, just always have this attitude of, there's probably something I don't know, because there's a lot of stuff, 99.9% of things that you just don't know, even about yourself. So that's really important to have that. What can I learn? What can I be taught? Where am I being blind? And so as you're going through your day and you have those patterns where you're going up, 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 and then you drop down, if you're super aware and you're super honest, you can be like, okay, my vibration or my frequency just dropped. I started the morning, I felt great, and then it just dropped. And you can be like, okay, what happened? And you're looking around, you're like, I'm at the pool, man, like, nothing happened. So then you're like, oh, it must have been something in my mind, which it always is, by the way. And so then you look in your mind and you're like, what was I just thinking about? And this takes awareness. You're like, oh, I thought about how that person didn't call me back. Or I thought about how, I don't have enough money to pay my mortgage, or whatever, right? Like, it could be something so simple. Like, I thought about how he never did that thing I asked him, and I've asked him 5 times, or whatever. Or it could be something about, like, no matter how hard I try, I can't lose weight, or I'm just not worthy, or they're not going to call me because they didn't like my interview, or it's like, it's all these things. The ego mind is famous for this bullshit, right? And so you start to have awareness and you notice, like, let's take the self-worth thing, because all these different things that the ego mind does, if you distill them down, it usually comes down to, I don't know if I can list them right off the top of my head, but not enough self-worth, not like external validation, still self-worth, survival, like, am I gonna have a place to live, am I gonna die or whatever. So there's really, if you distill all those actually distill into one thing: fear. And then fear, the opposite side of fear, is desire. So fear and desire are what the ego does, and that's all in the lower three chakras. Once you get out of there, you realize that there's nothing to be afraid of and that you already have everything, so you have no fear or desire. I know that sounds crazy, but that is the spiritual path, and it does get very, very beautiful. So you watch what made you do what you did, and so this goes back to, let me read it again. I welcome the opportunity, even if painful, that my minute-to-minute experience offers me to become aware of the addictions I get to reprogram to be liberated from my robot-like emotional patterns. Robot-like emotional patterns. So something happens and you automatically, your Bitcoin drops, right? Like, if you're paying attention, you're like, what the fuck was that? Like, I just, now I feel like shit. I started off this day, like, you start the day, you go to the gym, you're like, I'm a superstar. And then you're like, something happens and you're like, oh man, what the hell? Like, are you aware of this? If you're not, you got to up your awareness, up your self-truth, be present in the moment, because it happens all the time. Like, if you watch it close enough, you can actually see, like, in stocks they call it, or Bitcoin they call it, a minute chart. Like, you can actually see, or even a 30-second chart, you can see these little tiny, and that's like how good you feel. Higher consciousness, lower consciousness, higher frequency and vibration, and lower frequency and vibration. And so you just get better and better and better at this. And this is the art of living. This is the art of spirituality. Spirituality is life. Like, this is understanding who you are and increasing your awareness, I guess. But so something happens and you drop. And we looked around, we're at the pool, so nothing happened here. That's the funny thing. Like, in your current environment right now, for 99.999% of you, there's absolutely zero threat. Zero. So all this is in the mind. So what's happening is your ego is saying, I'm either afraid I won't get what I want, or your ego is trying to either get what it wants or avoid what it doesn't want. And the opposite of that is it gets what it doesn't want and doesn't avoid what it wants, or gets what you get the point. There's like 4 quadrants here. I had it all mapped out, but I don't have it memorized. So that's all your ego does, is it's like, I'm either getting what I want or I'm not getting what I want, or I'm either what I fear is showing up or what I fear is not showing up, which means you feel good, right? So that's the whole thing, and that's what makes the stock market move up and down, which is your consciousness level. Hopefully this is all coming together for you guys. So you're aware and you're at the pool and something happens and you're like, okay, so now why did I feel that? Well, maybe you're not getting the validation you need. Maybe you're worried that you aren't going to get the call back for the job interview, or that the girl that you like isn't going to text you back, or what's another example? Or the book you wrote isn't getting accepted, or the post, here's a good one, the post you posted, this time it only got 10 likes. Holy shit, you must be a complete failure. So that's a good one. You get on social media in the morning, you're like, nobody likes me. Oh my God. You know this shit's true. Okay, so that's external validation, right? So what you have there is an addiction to seeking validation externally, which is, guys, this is the big one, man. Like, this is really, I don't know, I could almost say it's everything. Like, we look outside ourselves for happiness, validation, experiences, and we think they're going to make us happy. And that's the whole thing I talk about on this channel. Like, I've been lucky in my life, man. I've traveled the world. I've had the nicest cars. I've had the nicest places. I've done all kinds of cool stuff, private planes, whatever, like all these experiences, beautiful women, like lots of beautiful women, models, different things, whatever. All these things I thought would make me happy. It's all external, and it doesn't. It makes you happy for a moment because you're in your ego thermostat, but it never makes you completely happy. So going back to the drop that you had in that moment, right? The sun's coming in and out. The drop you had in that moment is from an addiction that you have to external validation. So let's use the social media. That's a really good one. You turn on your social media and you're like, dude, that was the prettiest picture I've ever taken. Look at my eyes. I look so good. And that dress is so cute. Like, why don't people like it? I don't understand. Jamie posted one and her dress isn't even cute and she got 100 likes. Like, that's your freaking ego, man. Or if you're a logical type of guy, you're like, dude, I explained the way the world works in that post and no one even gets it. Like, what is wrong with people? And here they are liking this other post that this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about, right? Like, this is the ego. And that's the addiction to external validation. And so you welcome in the moment the way that the world shows you all the time how you're being a little baby, basically. Like you're sorry. I all these examples except for the dress I've done. So so I was being a baby, okay? And you probably are too. And what you realize is that it doesn't work. Like, it just doesn't freaking work, guys. So each moment brings you that blessing. Like, I used to say that the earth, I would call it earth school. And every single moment brings you the perfect resistance to see what you're holding on to that is false. And that's really what this is. You welcome that. Like, what's triggering me right now? What's upsetting me? And you're like, oh my God, okay. So then you grab that trigger like it's a tiger, and you grab it by the tail and you're like, fuck, I'm following this thing. And that's your trailhead into the trauma that you get to release if you have the courage. Or you can just move from Instagram to Facebook and see if maybe, oh, well, the post did good on Facebook, and then there you are back in your loop, right? Like, this journey takes courage. You have to follow the tiger down the trail, and you have to go into the trauma and look at it and realize that you're insecure and realize that you're narcissistic or whatever. You have to actually look at this stuff, but it's freedom. It's freedom. This is the way out. It's the way out is through. Okay? That's why I'm so emphatical about this. Like, this is how you get freedom in your life. Permanent freedom is you see the lies that your mind is telling yourself, your ego is telling you. And you welcome those addictions so that you can see them, so that you can release them. And there is a process within the Handbook for Higher Consciousness. And also the roar technique works for that. Link in the comments. Or use your own damn technique. But the main thing that you have to do is stop lying to yourself. Man, people get like, it's getting kind of windy. We'll see if this, people get like so tied up in their stories of who they are and what they, like, it's never them, and it's like people don't understand, and you know, they get certain friends that understand them, but everybody else, that's just, man, it's a fucked up life, man. I'm telling you, it's so limiting. That's just the truth. So read it one more time as you watch your Bitcoin stock go up and down. I welcome the opportunity, even if painful, that my minute-to-minute experience offers me to become aware of the addictions I get to reprogram, to be liberated from my robot-like emotional patterns. This is freedom, guys. It takes courage. Look in the mirror, do the work. This book set me, like, my last 3 weeks. Okay, I'll close with this. Video's getting long again, but I'll close with this. You think that you have it figured out. You have no fucking idea. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to cut through the shit. I don't care where you're at. Unless you're fully enlightened, you have no idea. And the quicker you realize that, the quicker you can be free. And what's happened for me is just yesterday, I will give some examples. I went out to coffee, and I was sitting there, and there was this two couples. Looked like they were traveling. They were from Tulum, and this one guy was just overrunning everybody else. Like, he was just, the other guy in the couple was like, kind of, they were bantering back and forth, and then the guy's like, you don't even understand what I'm saying. Show me where it says that. Show me where you saw that. I want to see where you read that. Show it to me. And he's like, and you could see the girls, they're just like, dude, dude, stop. What are you doing? Like, it made me uncomfortable. I was just sitting like 10 feet away. And he was basically dominating this guy and acting, and he was probably right. That's the problem. But it's not worth it, right? So my point is I saw that, and I saw that I was like that at some point in my life. Like when you first become, this was what happened for me. Like when I first was successful in business, making $1 million a year, and I knew everything. Fuck, I was King Brad, right? And I would just call people out. Rah, 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 rah. So I saw myself in him, and I'm like, my point of all this is you have no idea what you're doing because you can't see yourself until your consciousness rises up. And if you follow this book, it helps you. It helps you raise your consciousness, and you start to see things. And so yesterday, one of the reasons I started seeing a lot of things yesterday, like I haven't acted like that guy for a long time, but I saw this person and I was able to realize, I think that's another pathway actually, that I had been like that at some point in my life. And I'm like, that's disgusting. It's fucking gross. I mean, it's not gross. I don't know. It's just the way people do things when they don't have consciousness, right? There's nothing, they're at the core, everybody's got the beauty in them, but they're just not showing it. The other example was, I go to this, I'm being super vulnerable with you guys. So I go to this place called Holistica in Tulum, and it's where all the spiritual tourists hang out, right? And all the they're not really gurus, but there's all these different people, man. There's like a medicine man walking around. There's like all these tarot card readers, and there's nothing wrong with any of those things, okay? But it used to trigger the shit out of me because like most of spirituality isn't doing the work. Like none of them want to look at their false self. And that's still true, but it took me a long time to like see that how much that bothered me, because all these people were getting like millions of followers and they were trapping people, maybe not, I don't know. And so I had a lot of angst against like the spiritual people that were faking it and not even doing the work. And if you said one thing to them, they would lose their hat, so they're not spiritual. Anyway, and so I went to Holistica and I noticed a tinge of that when I felt something or saw something, and I'm like, I felt my Bitcoin go, and I'm like, what is that? Because I'm welcoming the opportunity to see my addiction, right? And so I'm like, why does it matter to me what someone else is doing? And you may be thinking to yourself right now, yeah, Brad, why does it matter? It doesn't matter to me. Bullshit. If I knew you personally, I could call out 10 different things. This is self-truth. Like, you have to be willing to look at yourself. We have this tendency to think that we are not doing what we're doing. So you may think that you don't care what people think. You may think that it doesn't matter what other people do. But that just means you're not looking hard enough. So anyway, as you look at this, you'll see that life will bring you exactly what you need in each moment. And be self-honest. Be real about it. Look at it. Don't be scared like I was my whole life. So that's the third pathway, and we've got 9 more. This was all about freeing yourself. I don't know what the first 3 are called freeing yourself or freeing myself, and I don't know what the next ones are, but I'll see you on the next one.